You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the October 9th meeting for the Michigan City Board of Cemetery Trustees. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
And we're calling to order the Cemetery Board of Trustees on Thursday, October 9th, 2025, being held here at Swan Lake Memorial Gardens. And we have a roll call coming up. We will do Renee Bauer.
Present.
Eric Gaston.
Present.
Stephen Chenis.
Here.
Excellent. Bernadette Dinke.
Here.
Excellent. Kat Hutchins.
Here.
Excellent. Davis Bush, also here. We have a quorum. Proceed. We're doing approval of minutes as presented, and we need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second that.
Excellent. We'll vote. All in favor of accepting?
Aye.
Any negatives? Motion carries. Move right on to Horizons Financial Report.
Thank you very much. As we typically do, start off with page one. And at the top of that summary page, with respect to the permanent agreements Greenwood account, the account was up 0.27% for the month and is up 2.42% year to date. The next account listed on the summary page is the permanent maintenance Swan Lake account. That account is up 0.28% for the month and 2.51% year to date. In the extension fund account, the account is up 0.27% for the month and up 2.39% year to date. And finally, with regard to the merchandise and commissions fund account, the account was up 0.30% for the month and is up 1.60% year to date. Taking a look specifically at, again, the permanent maintenance Greenwood account, the money market is currently yielding 4.03%, which is down from last month's yield of 4.17%. Mutual funds overall yield is at 3.71%, which is identical to last month's yield of 3.71%. And the overall yield in the account is currently at 3.81%, which is down from last month's yield of 3.86%. Turning now to page 3 and the permanent maintenance Swan Lake account. Mutual funds overall yield is at 3.72%, which again is identical from last month's yield of 3.72%. And the overall yield in the account is at 3.87%, which is down from last month's yield of 3.94%. Next page deals with the pension fund. Mutual funds overall yield is at 3.83%, which is up from last month's yield of 3.82%. And the overall yield in the account is at 3.90%, which is down from last month's yield of 3.95%. Finally, merchandise fund mutual funds overall yield is 3.86%, which is up from last month's yield of 3.85%, and the overall yield in the account is at 3.99%, which is down from last month's yield of 4.27%. As I'm sure you've all noticed, the flying solo this month, my colleague Brad found himself in a position that he couldn't make it to the meeting, so I'm going to read from the economic notes that he made. And since I'm not the economic guru that he is, if you have questions, write them down. And you can ask Brad next month for his vision on what his question, what answer your question should be. So with respect to his economic notes, they read as follows. U.S. labor market is slowing down, but the unemployment rate still remains below historical averages at 4.3%. While hiring is slowing, layoffs have also been limited, and we are in a low hiring, low firing environment. Provisions in the recently passed tax bill should help consumer spending broaden in 2026 with a boost to tax refunds in the spring. There are some parts of the economy that are working very well, such as tech and healthcare, but until the United States economic growth becomes more broad-based, it seems critical that the governmental policymakers keep U.S. financial conditions from tightening too much. After a rate cut in the September meeting, the Fed is expected to cut interest rates again at their October meeting, set for the last week of this month. The market is expecting another rate cut at the December meeting as well, and continuing to ease the easing cycle with respect to rates through 2026. Those are his comments. So again, if you have questions, I encourage you to make note of them. You can pass them along to me, send them to me in an email. I'll make sure that gets.
Everybody good? All righty.
Thank you.
We'll vote and accept the financial report. Need a motion and second?
So move.
I'll second that.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any negatives? Motion carries, and thank you very much.
My pleasure. Have a happy Halloween.
Jim.
It's a squeaky day. All righty. We have in front of us also a list of bills as presented for payment. And if there's any questions or comments, should have a copy of that.
That's right. I
Same thing.
didn't see it, but no, it's okay.
Any issues or comments? If not, we'll ask for a motion and second. And the bills as presented for payment.
I so move.
I second.
Excellent. The vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any negatives? Motion carries. We'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Great. So starting with the stats from last month, Greenwood, we had 7 ash interments, 3 full, 1 entombment for a total of 11. Swan Lake, we had 7 ash, 4 full burials, and no entombments for a total of 11, for a grand total of 22. Where that puts us compared, how it breaks down year to or month to month rather, about average. And then year to year, we had 25 for September of '04, and we're 22, so just 3 short, so about average. Next item I had was approval of an embalming requirement for mausoleums. This year we've had a particularly bad experience with mostly gnats and flies within all of our mausoleums. Specifically, the worst one has been the Greenwood Mausoleum. We've bombed it with just over-the-counter, not industrial bombs, but just over-the-counter stuff that we bought in ours. And it lasts for a couple days, but then they're right back, and they're terrible. I mean, they're flying in your face no matter what you do. We go there, we clean them up every morning at all the mausoleums, but by night, they're all over the floor again. So we also noticed a pretty bad smell for a while over at the Greenwood Mausoleum. We found out that one of the bodies in one of the exterior vaults had not been embalmed that we recently did. I found out that we don't really have a rule against or a rule requiring embalming. I spoke with the head of the Indiana Cemetery Association and he informed me the person who runs that also operates a couple funeral or a couple cemeteries. He informed me that they do have a rule at their mausoleums, but only for the inside. Only the inside vaults have to have embalmed bodies. The outside, they don't require it. But without knowing, we don't have schematics for a couple of our mausoleums, so I'm not sure how the ventilation works. I know that we do get mice in them, so the mice are coming in somewhere from the outside. So I'm assuming if the mice can get in, the gnats and flies can get in from the exterior vaults too. So I'm requesting that we create a rule for all the cemetery, for all the funeral homes, that any body embalmed in one of the interior vaults or the exterior at all three of our mausoleums be embalmed. It's not going to cure the situation. I think it's calmed down now, not that the weather has kind of cooled off, but we anticipate it coming again next year. So next year we're probably going to look at some, if there's some kind of like electronic device that maybe we can put in there to take care of the bugs. But until then, we're hoping that if we just approve this rule, that at least that'll stop the source of the flies. And
So
gnats.
the funeral homes don't let you know that you don't find that out?
Because we don't, do we ask? Or,
No, we do not.
I guess it's always been an unwritten rule, but apparently it's not being followed, so we want something officially in writing.
So you think the gnats and the flies, that's the major cause of that problem?
After speaking with the head of the Cemetery Association, he informed me that's most likely the cause.
How about the flowers and things like that people bring in?
Well, unfortunately, that's why we don't allow live flowers in any of our
Okay.
mausoleums anymore. So.
Are there any legal issues that could arise from that?
I don't think so. I mean, Casey Miller, who's the head of the state association, he's pretty well versed in the Indiana law in regards to cemeteries. He informed me that, in fact, he did read the statute to me, because there is an Indiana statute that allows cemetery boards to approve any reasonable rules for their.
I was just thinking more if somebody had purchased a niche or whatever, is that the right word? No,
A niche or a vault.
a vault, and didn't realize, and then never intended to be embalmed, and then you required if there'd be conflict there.
I guess we would deal with it when it came up. I know there are certain religions, I believe the Islamic religion is the one that comes to mind, that does not embalm their bodies, I believe. So that's the only one that I can think of offhand. But
It's religious reasons.
yeah,
I mean, sometimes it's personal preference too.
okay.
I just wondered if, whatever.
Well, for any pre-existing vaults that were sold, we would work with them. But going forward, any new sales,
Okay.
we would require
That makes
embalming.
sense.
Aren't they sealed though, so?
They are, but
Happen?
they're concrete on all sides except the front where we put them in at, and then we seal that up with just a caulk, and then it has a plastic plate that goes on that we caulk up there before we put the granite back on. And we thought the smell was coming from a different vault, which we opened up, and we found that the caulk had failed. It had already started to dry up and shrink, which it's not necessarily what I want to describe here, but Dave over at Greenwood said when he opened it up, that little crack, when he pulled the caulk up there off, that the gnats just came out in full force. So
Okay.
So how were you handling the body that wasn't embalmed? And what are you doing?
where we took the face off again and tried to we caulked it up, and then we took duct tape and then placed over the caulk too around the whole side, hoping that doesn't fail. So we're hoping, and Dave did say that after he did that, it appears that the problem has alleviated a little. So
They don't make a special type thing that's especially for those that you can order through some company that you get supplies from?
normally, again, we don't really get into, we don't open caskets to inspect anything, but I was told by Dave, who's been here a long time, that if a body is not embalmed, they're supposed to take extra precautions as far as bagging the body. And then there's like liquid absorbing kind of like socks or tubes that they put around the body, just so when the body fluids leak out, they don't leak out of the casket, because that has happened before, specifically at the Serenity Mausoleum.
But that's the responsibility of the funeral home,
Yes,
right?
yes. But again, we don't want to get to the point where we have to open caskets.
Oh, no. I mean, possibly a reminder or
Yes.
whatever. I'm sure you've done that.
So we can amend the rules to include mandatory embalming for all above ground graves.
I would say for all mausoleums.
Almost like above ground.
Vaults.
Yeah, so just the vaults.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't need it for the niches.
Okay. So in order to move forward, we need a motion and a second to improve our system of mandatory embalming for the mausoleums.
So move.
I second.
Okay, so all in favor? Any negatives? That motion now carries.
Next item I had was just an update on the Swan Lake office remodeling. It's 99.9% complete. The only thing we have left is to paint the trim around the exterior windows, which our painter is going to be here next week to do that, so we'll be done with it. But it took a long time, but it was worth it because we saved
Looks
money,
good.
and it looks 100%.
Yeah, looks great.
And I've already noticed that I'm assuming we're going to have a significant energy cost reduction with these new windows, because the old ones were just single pane.
Yeah.
And we already noticed that there's a definite difference on the amount of highway noise that we can get.
Yeah, good.
Next item, just an update on the Swan Lake muskrat infestation. So our company that we hired, McCoy Wildlife, has been out here every day trapping, checking for traps. We thought we had 3 muskrats. He got 2 of them, shot one and trapped the other one. So 2 of them are definitely gone, and we have not seen the 3rd one. This company did plug up the culvert that comes from under the highway. I should say plug it up, but they put a screen there so that the water soaks through, but the rodents can't get through. So I'm thinking that maybe that 3rd rodent or muskrat got trapped on the other side of the highway and can't get back to the pond. So their final day with our contract will be tomorrow, actually. So they'll come out, and if there's nothing left in the traps, then we've already cut their checks. So we've been really happy with their service. They, like I said, they're out every day, and then they also offer a deal where if we do find that 3rd muskrat returns in the next 30 days, we don't have to pay the full $450 to have them come back out. It's $150 to remove that 3rd one if he does come back within the next 30 days. So now that that's done, hopefully before fall here, we'll be able to put the fountain back in the water until it freezes, and then hopefully we'll get the level of the lake adjusted to. Next item, the community activation grant. At the last meeting, the board had voted to table it just to give everybody a chance to think about it. I think the consensus was at that time that we were leaning towards spending that grant money on redoing all of the signage at both cemeteries. I did not get a chance to send this for the mayor's opinion yet, because probably most of you have heard there's problems with all of the city computers right now, so I haven't been able to access those files and the photographs to put something together for the mayor to review, but it appears that this project would meet her requirements. So if the board approves, if you want to vote to approve that today, if that's your prerogative, then I will definitely get this to the mayor before our next meeting to make sure she's in agreement with it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move forward by asking for a motion and a second on the last discussion to make sure that we can get her done.
I'll make that motion for the signage for the community activation grant.
I'll second that.
Okay, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any negatives? This portion of motion does carry.
Just want to give you an update on the Swan Lake edging project that we're doing out here. We're making very good progress, and I just wanted to commend one of our employees, AC, who is normally one of our seasonals over at Greenwood. But we pulled him out here to help us with the edging out here. What he's doing is he's taking the stream trimmer and edging every ground level stone out here, and he's about 80% complete.
That's good.
And it makes 100% difference out here. I mean,
That's good.
until he started doing it, I didn't realize how bad it was out here because it hasn't been done for years. There were markers out there that were completely covered that we didn't even know there were markers out there in some instances. So that's almost complete. In addition to that, I have our 2 full-time guys out here. They're actually going through and hand edging everything that's been done. So they're taking shovels and going out there and cutting the dirt and sod back about an inch or so from the edge of the stones, so that hopefully it'll be another couple years before we have to do this. But I think if we, from this point on, if we make an effort to at least twice a year go through and string trim down to the ground all of the flat stones, I don't think it should ever get to the point where it is right now. So
Nice.
next item, just wanted to mention this. This weekend, apparently we had a semi make a U-turn in our entrance here at Swan Lake. It took out one of our signs that we're hopefully going to replace here soon, and then damaged quite a bit of the lawn. So that's already been fixed. We reseeded it, but just wanted to bring that to your attention that had happened. So unfortunately, we don't have cameras out here yet.
That's crazy.
Is there,
He didn't leave a note.
No.
are there plans for cameras or when they?
Yes, in fact, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but when we did the underground boring here last year, they did run piping for the fiber. So a month or so ago, the IT department came back out here and they actually ran the fiber. So now we have fiber out at the our maintenance building. Mm-hmm. So like our time clock out there, our cameras that I don't want to discuss too much about in public, but that's been completed. So eventually, there's supposed to be a new internet service coming out here because we have really poor internet out here. We don't have the same internet that the rest of the city departments have. So when that service eventually gets ran out here, we'll have a higher capacity to run video wirelessly. So the plan is that we would install wireless cameras because the cost is significantly less than having to run cable everywhere we want the camera. So yes, that is in the works.
Speaking of, did the black GMC truck get caught yet, or?
So we are pretty confident we know who it is, and I am going to have a talk with that person. It's a customer of ours.
Okay.
I think the trimming has pretty much stopped, but from what I understand, that person is now like attempting to clean a lot of our older headstones. So yeah, we're addressing it.
Okay.
It's going to be done.
Right.
Yes. Just want to, just like a public reminder here, our fall cleanup at both cemeteries will start October 15th and it will conclude on October 22nd. On the 22nd, people can begin putting out their decorations. The only thing I would preface this with would be that we're going to have new signs made for our entrance here at Swan Lake because it really only pertains to Swan Lake. But in the wintertime, we flip all of the bases over in our flat areas so that we don't run over them when we do graves in the wintertime. So we're going to probably either November 1st or November 15th, we will turn all of those bases down for the final time this year, and then they won't be turned back up until spring cleanup of next spring. So. But we're going to get a large sign similar to the sign that we have now, informing people of the cleanup. We'll put a sign out there just notifying everybody that you have to have your bases turned down by November 1st or November 15th.
Okay.
And with that same note, at Greenwood, I've already contacted the water department. We're going to shut the water off at Greenwood Cemetery on October 20th. We do that every year to prevent the underground pipes from freezing, so that'll be done October 20th. And then I want to give everybody an update. This is our final construction project of the year. If you remember, we contracted an electrician and a well company to redo our well out at Serenity Mausoleum. This is just a reminder of what it looked like before. And then, so we're almost done with it. We should be done with it tomorrow. Our electrical contractor's finished his work. The well contractor finished his work a couple of days ago. What we'll be doing is, I built that small shed on the left there, and then we're gonna place that over the pump, or I'm sorry, the tank, so that, just to prevent it from blowing over or any
Nice.
mischief. But the plan is that before our first full freeze, we will drain all that piping so that we don't have to heat it. That was the whole purpose of doing this, was so we don't have to build another large shed and heat that shed all winter. So we'll drain the water out of here, first freeze, and then turn it back on in the spring. The hope is with this, originally we had 2 spigots installed just so we can use it for maintenance on the Serenity Mausoleum out there. But when we tested the well, it has a really large pump that has a lot of water capacity. So they installed an extra valve here, and our plan is hopefully next year, next spring, we're going to trench a line from the back of the this sits back in kind of in the wooded area behind the mausoleum. We're going to trench a line from there to the front of the mausoleum and put a spigot out there so that the public actually has access to water out here at Swan Lake. Because right now there is no public access if you want to use water to water flowers on your graves. So hopefully next spring we'll have water accessible to the public so they can maintain their flowers out here.
Jeff, what is that service?
We thought maybe it was connected into the rest of the older part of the cemetery sprinkler system, but we actually dug down to the bottom of the large wellhead, and there's only one pipe coming out of there, and all it fed was the 2 tanks you saw in the previous picture. So I'm not sure what they did with the water, if it was constructed when they originally built the Serenity Mausoleum, just as a water supply for the construction out there. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Just a couple other things here. So with leaf season starting here within the next week or so, we have 2 of the handheld, the large push style blowers that don't work. We have one that does work. The 2 older ones I tried to get running last year, they haven't ran for a few years. They're beyond repair, I believe. So we'd like permission to purchase a new backpack blower for Greenwood to help with the leaf removal over there. I got 2 quotes. First one was from Frontier Lawn and Rec for $520. The second one was from Riggs for $599.99. We would recommend going with the lowest bid of $520. And this is the exact same model that we use at all our cemeteries now.
Okay.
Is there a warranty on that?
Steel, most of our handheld equipment, our mowers, or our trimmers are steel, and we have pretty good reliability. I know we do come with a residential warranty. I'm not sure what the extent is for the commercial use. So,
Is Frontier the one we've dealt with mostly?
both Frontier and Riggs handle steel, and that's why I always use them, because they're usually comparable. We pretty much buy evenly for both of them.
Okay. So you're looking for a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion that we purchase the Frontier blower at $520.
I'll second that.
Excellent, we can vote. All in favor of accepting the steel off for Frontier Lawn and Rec for $520?
Aye.
Any negatives? This motion carries and we will purchase.
And the second thing I'm asking for, when we've been doing the edging project out here at Swan Lake, and even before that, I've noticed we have I'm not sure if everybody's familiar, but in each cemetery we have little markers that indicate the lot. They're lot markers, and that's how we locate graves and how we determine where the parameters of where we're going to buy, build, or dig new graves. So we have a lot of them missing out here. The cemetery, so I don't know how it happened, but apparently mowers hit them, or people steal them or they were lost during diggings, whatever. But we're missing a lot of them, and I've noticed it's created a problem because a lot of times we have a hard time locating new graves. So if somebody wants to purchase a grave out there and we go to show them the new site, we're having a hard time locating the exact spot where they're going to purchase the grave. So out here, typically the grave markers are every other row, and when you have 1 or 2 rows that are missing, then you have to measure the considerable distances. So to correct that, we want to install or reinstall grave markers where they're missing. So there's 2 ways we can do it. We can go through the entire cemetery and then determine all the ones that are missing and have the company, I shouldn't say print them, but they construct them. What it is, it's a 3.5-inch stainless steel disc, and then it's stamped with the lot marker and then the letter, corresponding letter. I think it'd be a lot easier if we just bought our own stamp kit in the stamp machine, so we can stamp our own, so that when we do find one that's missing, or if we hit it with one of the mowers, we can construct a new one right away instead of having to order new ones. So I contacted 2 companies, the 2 companies that we buy most of our cemetery equipment from, Holland Supply and American Cemetery Supply. Holland Supply can sell us one for $859.95, and American Cemetery Supply gave us a price of $750. The Holland Supply one did not include the letter stamps, it only included the numbers. We would have to purchase the letters extra. So the American Cemetery Supply includes letters and numbers. So we're requesting $750 to buy that kit so we can start replacing our lost or missing markers.
So the cost of having somebody make them for you and the amount that we're going to need would surpass this
I
amount?
believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So is that cost just for that kit, or is that for
Yes,
the markers?
just for the kit. Now the markers too are cheaper from American Cemetery Supply by a couple dollars, I believe.
Okay.
And they're cheaper if you buy in bulk. If you buy over 100 of them, they're like around $2 something a piece. If we buy in a smaller quantity, I believe they're around $4 or $5 a piece.
Okay. And you'll know right where to put those?
Yes, it's a science out there, because if you don't get, and I've seen this because we've had to move some graves over that have been placed there before I started here, but if you don't get the casket or the vault in the exact correct spot, next time you go to do a burial next door, it's twice as much work, because you have to dig the existing grave up and slide it over to make room. And there's only about 6 inches to play with on each side of the vault. So, and then when you're trying to dig something or measure something in the middle of winter when there's 12 inches of snow, it's even harder. So,
Motion
Well, I
second.
will make a motion that we purchase the American Cemetery Supply at $750 for engraving grave markers.
I'll second.
Okay, we can vote. All in favor of accepting?
Aye.
Any negatives? This motion will carry and we will purchase.
and the last item, just an update on the sewer construction out here. I know their deadline here, I believe, is the end of this month, but they have completed hooking our buildings up. So the office and the maintenance building out there are now hooked up to the grinders. So we're no longer on a septic system out here. So the system seems to be operating better than our septic did. So we're hoping that permanently alleviates or eliminates the problems that we've had in the past. So
Excellent.
You on well water here?
we are still on well water, and honestly, the original plan was to hook us up to the water, but that got cut out when the project was scaled down. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. We've invested a lot of money on our wells out here, and then it's also cost savings too, because we do spend a fortune sometimes in the summer supplying water out at Greenwood, because that is city water out there. So in the long run, I think we're better off just sticking with the well system.
Okay.
And I think that's all I have.
Okay.
All right. That includes old business also. Any new business? No? Any public comment? No, none seen? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I second that.
Okay, we'll vote, all in favor?
Aye.
I
Any negatives? We're adjourned. Thank you.